Alrighty, let's go through our corrections for the end of Unit 2 assessment. First thing I would look at is when I read this question, I notice that it says all, and the all questions always have more than one correct answer. So think of that. If you get done and you only choose one answer, you really need to go back and look a little more closely. All right, the ratio of triangles to squares is 2 to 4. So I'm going to look for my triangles. 1, 2, good. I'm going to look at my squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, good. It goes in the correct order. The ratio of squares, 1, 2, 3, 4, is not 6. Smiley faces is not 4, so that one is incorrect. The ratio of smiley faces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, actually I'm going to write that there, make it faster, is 6, and triangles is 4, so that is correct. There are 2 squares for every one triangle. Every means 1, so that is correct. There are 2 triangles. Here's my 2 triangles for every one smiley face. I would say that's not correct, because if we split that, that would be 3. There are 3 smiley faces, 1, 2, 3, for every one triangle. That is also correct. This one gets a little complicated. It's also an all statement, so more than one correct answer. A couple ways we can do this. I'm probably going to make a table. I like tables. And my ratio is 8 to 6. The next one is a 4 to 3. The next one is a 6 to 8. I'm just going to put them all on here. 16 to 12, 10 to 8, and 7 to 5. I notice right away that 3 is half of 6 and 4 is half of 8. So that one is equivalent. I notice that 6 and 8 are switched, so that cannot be equivalent. Then I get to 16 and 12. I also notice a relationship between 16 and 12. If I double 6, I get a 12. And if I double 8, so that doubling is a times 2, gives me the 16 to 12, so that is a true statement. When I get to 10 and 8, and the 6 and 8, we got to look for something. We need to either look at the unit rate or what my multiplier is. So if I'm going to say to myself, 6 times what mystery number is 8, I would do division. 8 divided by 6 is going to give me that mystery number. What do I multiply by? And I would think of the same thing on the other side. What do I multiply by? So over here, I would do 10 divided by 8. Now, in order for those to be equivalent, they're going to have the same multiplier or factor. So 8 divided by 6 is 1.33, and 10 divided by 8 is 1.25, 1.25. So that means if I did 8 times 1.25, I would end up with 10. And if I did 6 times 1.33, I would get my 8. These numbers are not the same, so it's not an equivalent ratio. I could do the same thing for my 6 to 5 and my 8 to 7. So I do 5 divided by 6. I need a bigger box. And I do 7 divided by 8. So 5 divided by 6, 0.83 repeating, and 7 divided by 8, 0.875. So those are not equivalent. So not an equivalent ratio. Oh, sorry. I do that a lot. My bad. double number line. The mixture of purple paint, 6 teaspoons of red, 15 teaspoons of blue. To make the same shade of purple paint using 35 blue, how much red paint would we need? Use a double number line. All right, I need to figure out what goes on my tick marks. I notice between 0 and 6, there's 3 spaces. So if I do 6 divided by 3, I find out what goes on each tick mark. 6 divided by 3 equals 2. So this is counting by twos. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. And my 3 marks here, so I would do 15 divided by 3, because you have to do the same to both parts of your ratio. 15 divided by 3. This is counting by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So I have all my information. So it says when I use 35 teaspoons of blue, here's my blue. I go over to 35. And this is my ratio. At 35 blue, I need 14 red. Lynn rode her bike. I guess I can leave it there. 2 miles in 8 minutes. She rode at a constant speed. Complete the table to show the time it took her to travel different distances. So I need to think about how do we go from a 2 to a 1. I think of 1 as being half of 2. And if I write that out, 2 times 1/2 equals 2 over 2, which is the same as 1. I can put that on my calculator. 2 divided by 2 equals 1. So I would have to do half of 8, which is 8 times 1/2, which is really 8 divided by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. You can also just say 8 divided by 2. Then if I want to go to a 1, I'm going to do, well, I should know any number to turn into 1, you divide by itself. So that's 8 divided by 8, which equals 1. I can double check. 8 divided by 8 equals 1. Good. Which means I also have to do 2 divided by 8 on the calculator, and you end up with 0.25. Good. Or you could think of it as 1/4. If we did it as the fraction, 2 times 1/8, you end up with 2 over 8, and some people will simplify that to 1 out of 4, which we should recognize is equivalent to 0.25. Movie tickets. I like to do a table. You don't have to do a table. So I have movie tickets and I have money. I have 3 tickets for $36. So that's my ratio, 3 to 36. Because I'm talking about cost per 1 ticket, I need to find the 1. Thinking about how do I turn a 3 to a 1, we always divide by itself. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So to do the same thing to the other part of the ratio, to keep it equivalent, we will divide by 3. 36 divided by 3 is 12. 1 ticket cost $12. Ice cream cones. Our ratio is 3 ice cream cones for $8.25. We need to find 2 ice cream cones. Ice cream and money. You need to have labels so you know what you're doing and you can easily explain it to somebody else. It's not as easy to go from 3 to a 2, so I'm going to go to a 1. Going to 1 is pretty simple. Divide by 3 again. So $8.25 divided by 3 is $2.75. And then to get 2 ice creams, I'm going to double that, which means multiply by 2. $2.75 times 2 is 5.5. Now you need to think about what that means in money. 2 ice creams cost $5.50 because we have to put in those 2 placeholders for change or the decimals in American money. And the last one, bananas. Bananas, good, and money. 3 bananas for 99 cents. Let's find the price of 1 banana first. We're dividing by 3. We are dividing by 3. So 0. I actually know that one, but I will do it on the calculator. 0.99 divided by 3 is 33 cents. And then we want to find 5 bananas. So we'll multiply by 5. Times 5 equals $1.65. So 3 bananas cost $1.65. Okie doke. Make fizzy orange. Noah mixes 4 scoops of powder with 6 cups of water. So that's our first ratio. And we're going to do this for Noah. I'm going to do a table for Noah because I like tables. Powder and water. My ratio is 4 to 6. And it says make several different amounts. And I want to go far enough that I'm going to have something in common with Andre. So I'm going to go 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. And we'll see how far I go. And then I have 12, 18, 24, 30. That looks about right. And for Andre, it's a 5 to 8. I'll do a double number line this time for the people who like double number lines. We set it up in similar way. We have to have our labels. I like to take my line all the way through to make sure my numbers line up. Sometimes it gets messy, especially when you have a lot. And my ratio is 5 to 8. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 8, 16, 24, 4 eighths is 32, 5 eighths is 40, 6 eighths is 48. Now when I look at these two displays, I'm looking for something that is the same. And I see a couple places. If I look at powder and look at powder, we need a number that's the same. I see that they both have a 20, so I could compare them both at 20 powder. Or if I look at water, I see that they both have 24 water. It doesn't matter where you choose, it's just that they have to have, oh, I apologize. They have to have something in common. So I'm going to choose the 20 powder, which means I go to powder, find 20. And what do I notice? When, this is Noah, and this is Andre. When Noah uses 20 scoops of powder, he uses 30 cups of water. And when Andre uses 20 scoops of powder, he uses 32 cups of water. So Andre uses more water. So we're going to say when they both use 20 scoops of powder, Andre uses 2 more cups of water than Noah, because 30 to 32. How are they going to taste? Well, since Andre's using more water, Andre's will taste more watery. Okay. Bonus. Sorry about that. I have a bag of 120 marbles. Some are red, some are black. 19 red for every black. What number is every again? Every is 1. So I'm going to set up my table. And I'm going to have red, I'm going to have black, and then I have a total because I know the total in the bag is 120. And I could do this in any order. I don't know why I put the total on top. So 19 red and 1 black, which means how many would I have altogether? 19 and 1 would make 20. And if I had 120, I need to think about this relationship between 20 and 120. If I'm not sure, so I'm thinking 20 times a mystery number, some factor equals 120. If you're not sure, then you do the opposite operation, which would be division. 120 divided by 20. Grab our calculator. 120 divided by 20 equals 6. So that mystery factor is 6, which means every other part of the ratio I'm going to multiply by 6. That gives me 6 black. And then I will do 19 times 6 to get the red. 114. Then just to double check my work, I need a total of 120. I have 114 red plus 6 black. 4 and 6 is 10 with a carry. 1, 2. All right, that means I did it correctly. Now we need to make sure we answer the question. How many red marbles? 114 red marbles. All righty, great job. Find my